next to me now. I am joined with DaVinci J15, the iconic guy that got into Bitcoin before all of us knew what it was. And also I'm joined by CoinMarketCap's very own head of content, Molly. Molly, great to be joined by you. It looks like you are somewhere fun in the sun. How's it going?
I'm very tropical. I'm in Florida for the first time, not Miami. And I'm enjoying a really warm Christmas.
Very, very nice. And I also think we have Olivia that is joining the chat right now as we speak as well. But guys, the purpose of this is to have a little bit of fun as well and just find out what everyone is doing over the holidays. So a huge thank you to everyone that is joining the live and is interacting with us. We are going to go through some of the comments and some of the questions for DaVinci in just a second. We have Olivia joining us as well. Maybe Molly would like to introduce Olivia just now.
Sure. So in another life, I was a journalist at Cointelegraph, hired by Olivia here, who ended up being, I think, managing editor, editor-in-chief. So we got into crypto together, and it's so fun to be able to have her here now. She's head of content at OKX, and this is our first real collab since Cointelegraph days.
Yeah. Hi, everyone.
Too.
Yeah, that's about it. Formerly crypto media, now working for OKX, head of content and communications, and I'm very happy to be here.
Amazing to have you. And DaVinci, you're on a panel with all crypto women, so which is really exciting.
Exactly.
And we're excited to be picking your brains about the world of Bitcoin.
I love the ladies, so hey, all good.
And I know that a lot of people were really excited for you to tune in, because I think one of the main things that we all find working in the space is traveling home for Christmas. A lot of the time, people that are sitting around the dinner table, whether it's our mother or our grandmother, will be asking us about what is Bitcoin and how to even begin. And I think it's quite a good question to start, and a lot of people will have the same question. How would you even begin at a dinner table over Christmas dinner with the turkey, the plate in front of you, to even explain to your parents what cryptocurrencies and particularly Bitcoin, seeing as you've got the Bitcoin t-shirt, what it is?
Well, I first off would start off by saying, you know what, it's money. And you're like, no, it's not. You can't buy something in the grocery stores. Okay, fine. You can't do it right now. But there was a time when you couldn't buy things in the grocery store, buy stuff with gold or with paper money because people didn't trust it, right? It took time for people to trust paper money, right? At first, they were like, no, why would I do that? I have these coins, real money here. Why would I trust these pieces of paper? But over time, people understood that, you know what, the paper represented the silver or gold that was in the bank. Well, right now, it's a little bit different because now Bitcoin does not represent some other value stored in somewhere else. It is the value in and of itself. And that's really difficult concept for people to grasp. But over time, once people realize, okay, wait a second, this is a better form of money because, well, one, it's anonymous, right? It's not completely anonymous right now, but it will be with the new software upgrades that have actually been installed right now. And we're just waiting for developers to actually add those pieces of software to their piece of code to their software. And then it's going to be completely anonymous. And also, basically, you could send money anywhere in the world to anyone immediately. Mm-hmm. You don't have to wait 5 days for it to clear. You don't have to send in all your documentation and find out, okay, where's it going to, who's it going to, and send it to the banks to know where it's going. No, you can send it immediately. You can send millions of dollars immediately. And another beautiful thing is that you can get on a plane, right? Super rich, right? And with all your money, and nobody will know that you have it. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing to use. And also, the fact that it's limited in supply, the rules cannot change. It's next to impossible to change the rules on Bitcoin as far as we could possibly make it. Because of Satoshi, he came up with a brilliant plan so that no one can change the rules of Bitcoin. We can augment certain things around it, but we can't change the hardcore rules, which is the 21 million Bitcoins, the heartbeat of Bitcoin, which every 10 minutes, there's a new block coming out, right, where it validates the transactions. Those hardcore rules can never, ever change. And no government can point a gun at somebody and say, no, we don't like that, so change it. You know, I mean, governments are notorious for jumping out of a plane without a parachute and going, well, we're going to crash, so how are we going to deal with this? They're going to say, well, we could change the laws of gravity. Good luck with that.
And there we go.
Yes, exactly. Can't change absolutes.
Yeah. And I think 2021 proves that. And I would love to ask you, Molly and Olivia, as well. 2021, we've seen so many big achievements for the crypto space and for the progression and adoption of different countries. And I know we have a huge international audience. What have been some of the 2021 highlights for you this year?
Olivia, do you want to take it away first?
Sure. Probably the first that comes to mind is El Salvador and this sort of unprecedented adoption, you could say, of Bitcoin from a nation state. It's a really important development, and I think like marks a shift, right, from what we see as like what we've seen so far in terms of institutional investment. That was like the big wave before, and the thing that everyone was talking about for years, like the institutions are coming and then suddenly they arrived. And kind of the next level is on the level of the state, and then that actually happened this year. So I think that the importance of that should not be underestimated.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's actually something I was talking about yesterday when recording for our CoinMarketCap podcast, which is that this year, so many insane things happened. Bitcoin hit the all-time high. Elon Musk went insane on crypto Twitter. Tesla
NFTs.
did things. NFTs, DeFi, Metaverse, and then an actual country making Bitcoin into legal tender was just one of the many crazy things that happened. But I think that actually is the most important thing that happened, because if the Metaverse disappears tomorrow, in the history books now, there is a country that accepted Bitcoin. You know, I think that's crazy. I think that is really important.
Yeah.
Completely.
No, this year has been really, like, for everyone, I think, shockingly full of different developments and just so dense. And everyone, like, sort of my friends and like my team at OKX, when we discussed the news of the past year, were just like, was that really this year? Like, did all of that actually happen? Because it's just a lot of the technology that has existed, like NFTs, for example, for years, just really forcefully entered the mainstream and became really important this year. I mean, the Beeple sale, big brands getting into NFTs, etc. So I think, yeah, it's been really cool. I'm excited to see what we're doing in 2022 after this.
Right. And even like the GameStop saga, for example, that feels like 2 years ago. And
Right?
that was
this year.
Ago? Yeah,
We
that
should
was
have written
year.
about that. I just did a top 10 craziest crypto stories of the year, and we didn't even include GameStop.
Because it feels like it was 2 years ago. You're not alone.
Wow.
This year, everyone's aged about 3 years in crypto. It's true. And I think this year as well, we were also open to like the NFTs and the whole metaverse thing. We've seen that like Instagram is recently now going to launch its own metaverse realm. And Adidas, for example, they're launching NFTs on a metaverse platform. Yeah, that came out 2 days ago, which makes sense because
Living under a rock here.
But things are happening so quickly as well in the space that it's really been remarkable to see. Out of interest with you guys, have you looked at any particular projects or coins this year that you think would be interesting? Or like, I know recently at CoinMarketCap, we really dove into some of the metaverse platforms, and that's been a revolution in itself. What about you, Olivia?
What projects am I excited about from this past year?
Yes.
Is that the question?
Yeah.
I don't like to single out projects, to be honest. So, ooh, nice, very festive. I wish I had some more I have a red sweater. It's festive.
Oh, I have. Hold on.
Maybe I can ask 2021 for you. What was your favorite headlining moment? Or is there like
My favorite headlining moment, even though it wasn't major news, was the fact that we activated Taproot and Schnorr signatures. That's a huge game changer for Bitcoin, because now governments can't point and say, well, that's a green Bitcoin because, it was mined green, and this one was mined with bad, and this one was over in Iran, so that's bad. They can't do that anymore with those two upgrades to the base protocol. It's not in the software, not in wallet software just yet, but it will be.
Oh.
Olivia, there seems to have been a lost connection, so let's keep it up, just the two, just the two of us.
Okay. We won't get.
I will talk about some metaverse things I liked this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, because one of the things, sure, I can talk about that. So one of the things that I think would be interesting to define is, what do you think the metaverse is? Is it one of those things that we can apply retroactively and say, you know, we've actually been living in the metaverse for a long time. We're in the metaverse right now. I don't think that's the case at all. I think it requires an economic element to it, a decentralized element.
Okay.
And while you answer that, I'm going to admit Tony Bates, who just has entered the waiting room.
Awesome. Okay. So my answer, and you know, we've discussed this already on our podcast, like, what is the metaverse? And I think my answer was like 5 minutes, but I'll try to get back to it. I don't fully agree with the sort of characteristics that you said like are required for metaverse. I kind of think that like the metaverse is something that exists right now and something that we interact with. Hi.
Hello.
Just here defining the metaverse. I had a really good conversation recently with Sam Hamilton from Decentraland. And I really like appreciated his way of talking about the metaverse. So if you want to check that out, it's on the OKX YouTube. Just give a plug for that. It's a good interview. He kind of said like, in a way, we're living in the metaverse now. It's a way of interacting virtually. Our metaverse now is definitely pretty flat and unexciting. So the things that we're looking forward to with the development of the metaverse in different platforms, right, are more full and kind of natural interactions that feel more fulfilling, rather than maybe a flat Zoom call or another, like just a chat or whatever, the normal ways that we currently interact in the internet, which are like text and video. So that is something I don't think requires decentralization, but and we'll see as these different platforms develop between centralized like Facebook and decentralized, but I think it will hugely benefit from Web3, and that's obviously the direction that us crypto people hope kind of.
So remember, you could use this touchpad, right?
Hi.
I'd like to apologize. We have a Tibetan Mastiff in the building that just walked into the camera and pulled down all of the wires. You couldn't see him because the balance is a little bit too low, but he just...
I love that was the reason.
Oh, yeah, it was really sudden.
It was a Shiba Inu.
It was a giant Shiba Inu. It was the fact no one said Floki coin. Mr. Tone Bays, a Miami joiner, how are you doing today?
Hey guys, I'm doing good. I don't know. I joined the stream. I'm like, did I just join the right stream? I wasn't sure for a second. I'm like, okay, it's about metaverse. That's probably the right stream. How are you guys?
Good.
Yeah.
So we were talking about our year in review for 2021, and I know as an avid Bitcoin fan, this year's been a big year for you, and I think Da Vinci is in a very similar outlook to you, Tone. What has been your yearly highlight?
Oh man, my highlight of the year? I don't know. I guess enjoying Dubai. I mean, that's where I spent most of the year. In Dubai, because the rest of the world just shut down. Got to meet a lot of cool people, got to organize my events there. The price of Bitcoin has done well this year. You know, people are so like depressed over what's going on right now, but Bitcoin should still be up, what, 100% for the year? I think we started the year at around like 20,000 or something. I mean, I kind of have the charts somewhat in front of me, so I can just easily check what happened this year. So the price of Bitcoin has overall done fairly well. I mean, we started the year right at about 25,000, and we're still sitting at double that. So it's been a really good year. And I know people are just disappointed about what happened at the end. So those are pretty much my highlights. This has not been, a great year for human beings, just like last year with continued lockdowns everywhere, which is why I'm either in Dubai or in Miami. But, Bitcoin is sticking away. Another more year of confidence, and eventually it will be the world reserve currency. So that's still my highlights. Taproot got in. Technologically, it's going to be more secure, more private. That's what I really focus on. I know the NFT space has exploded, and the metaverse has become the new word for blockchain, where everyone has their own definition of it. I'm kind of getting the hang of it, of what the metaverse means, but we'll see. We'll see how it's monetized, and that's the big question everyone has.
That's a good point. And guys, just to watch to anyone that is viewing us live now, first of all, thank you so much. We have a lot of you guys interact in the chat from all over the world, but let us know where you're watching us from. And also if you do have any questions for Olivia, Tone, Da Vinci, or even Molly and myself, we will be going through those as well. So Tone, have you looked into the metaverse yet? Have you explored any of it?
Well, again, I'm not sure what to look at it. So here's my definition of the metaverse. So I actually raised the question on Twitter. So for the last 15 to 20 years, we just referred to it as VR. It's a virtual reality environment. And suddenly, everyone's calling it the metaverse. So the metaverse is just literally a virtual reality environment where VR is now the tech. The VR is like the equipment, and the metaverse is the space. They're going to try to connect, different platforms onto one, but that's not going to happen. The Xbox players still can't interact with PlayStation players. I don't think that's coming anytime soon. So different metaverse companies are not going to interact within the same environment. They're going to be independent environments. So it's just an environment where other people can see you, virtually. So it's like there's already been crypto conferences and other conferences taking place in the metaverse. I mean, I remember that going back as far as a few years ago. I don't see any real innovation here. I just see innovation in language. I don't see any innovation in technology per se. I mean, the technology was trending in that direction anyway. The question now is digital real estate in the metaverse A, scarce, or B, monetizable? And right now it is. But I think it's very debatable whether it will be in the future. And that's going to be the big, I think that's going to be the big topic over the next few years, is how monetizable is the land and items inside the metaverse, because they are not actually digitally scarce like Bitcoin. They are scarce based on the reputation of the gatekeeper of that land and of those virtual objects. Even if they do put them on the blockchain, and that's going to be the debate: is it decentralized, is it not decentralized? And we'll see how that works out.
Time will tell. I have a question for anyone in the group, actually. When it comes to Christmas gifts for their family, is anyone getting their family like Christmas gifts that are crypto or NFT related?
Well, I'm afraid to do that because they don't appreciate the need for security for their crypto assets.
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand the 24-word passphrase, and also making sure that nobody steals, takes a look at that, and making sure that they can restore this stuff right back once if they were to lose their computer or phone. So what I tend to do is hold Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies for my family members in separate wallets for them. And that's how I'd gift it to them, basically.
That is a good idea. Molly, what about you? Because I know kind of as an educator in the space via what you do with Alexandra and CoinMarketCap, there's almost like a social responsibility to pass it on to family members. Do you gift crypto out at all, or not really?
Sure. Well, I'll first give a shout out to my father, who's swimming right behind me.
We're all just jealous.
Also,
we're all like,
I couldn't stop him. He's also into crypto. He's actually helped us with a few CoinMarketCap YouTube video scripts, Cointelegraph video scripts. He's a writer, so he's already in it. You can hear the plane now flying overhead too. I will say one of my biggest regrets is a few years ago when my little sister graduated from college. I wanted to give her $100 in Bitcoin, but at the time it was a little bit hard to figure out how to actually gift that to her. And I wish I had done what you did and just bought it and kept it in a wallet, because that was when Bitcoin was at below 5,000. So it's a great idea. I still have time. I don't celebrate Christmas, but I celebrate New Year's gifts. So maybe you guys have inspired me to send some of my fellow family members a little bit of crypto, not NFTs. I'm too indecisive. I don't know what I should get them, and it's just all too expensive. So That's my 2 cents.
Olivia, what about you?
Yeah, I'm kind of in a similar place. I just haven't like decided how to do it logistically, but I do have some family and friends around me who like have gotten into crypto because I work in crypto, especially my mom. So that's cool. And like, so I don't need to be gifting. Maybe I would gift her an NFT, but I also feel like it's, for me, it's not that, like, obviously there's plenty of not expensive NFTs, but it's like, I'm not that into the space as a collector. So it takes a lot of discerning. There probably are services that make it really easy to gift crypto. I just don't know what they are. But yeah, it's a good question.
There's a
But here's the
few.
thing,
Robinhood just launched one. Coinbase. Sorry, continue.
No, go ahead. No, I was gonna say, if you're looking to gift NFTs to your family, just like don't buy them, make them, right? Like that's the
Exactly.
I mean, anyone can make an NFT, right? So you can make NFTs with something. But then this is the thing, and this is why I am not on the NFT bandwagon whatsoever, because the NFTs are not digitally scarce, because anyone can create them. It is incredibly easy, from what I've heard. I mean, I've never looked into how to do it, but like
yeah, it's easy,
if
but
if 12-year-olds can do it, like I'm sure we can do it. We're somewhat tech savvy.
but like not all NFTs are equal, right? So like if I got my mom an NFT, I want to get her something that I think is like, that is art, a piece of art. So it's like when you're buying, if you're buying art, you know, like, yeah, anyone can draw or paint, but like that doesn't mean that all the paintings and drawings are equal. So I think that's what, when you said that about like digital scarcity, I mean, there's scarcity within collections. And then the question, I guess, that we come to when we talk about NFTs is really like the question of what is art or what is valuable to the collector or the buyer. It's not necessarily art, obviously. Lots of use cases for NFTs in the metaverse, like wearables. So we can go down that rabbit hole, but I do think the scarcity isn't the most important thing here. I wouldn't compare it to Bitcoin. It's really like apples and oranges in that sense.
Well, see, so when I say digital scarcity, I mean technological digital scarcity. So it's and that is pretty much limited to Bitcoin, because the other stuff is, I mean, you can have physical scarcity, but even that is potentially questionable. Like when you own something, like I don't know if this will show up, but there's a number on the side of this watch. I don't know if you can see it or not. No, it's too blurry. But when you buy things, sometimes they're engraved with a unique number. It's like 1 out of 100, 1 out of 1,000, you know, number 21 out of 40. And that is a unique number. And that is actually no different than an NFT. Now, that doesn't mean that another watch with the same number can't be created, even by the same creator. And it's all reputation based, that this was going to be a unique number on a watch, on a baseball card, whatever. And but in the physical space, you can kind of control it a little bit better. When this gets moved into the digital space, because in a physical space, there's still a cost. There's a real cost to building this. Even an imitation of this, there's still a cost involved. In the digital space, there is really no cost. Like these what are those, lazy apes or crypto punks, like there is no digital cost to make them. It's all reputation based, that there's not going to be an identical one. And I still have a problem processing that as to how that's valuable.
Okay, I understand.
Tone, what is the thing that's pissed you off the most this year? Because I always like the passion you have for this space. We've known each other for years, and I don't know, you kind of give the core values back to the Bitcoin familia. And I always like what kind of things you see that irks you a little bit.
Well, I mean, the politics and the COVID situation just completely trumps anything that could have pissed me off in the crypto space. It's just way worse. That's why my Twitter feed has become political and medical instead of crypto. But in the crypto space specifically, oh man, you know, I gotta go back to Dubai. Like Dubai's guy had a chance to really like so many scammers, so many scams were taking place in Dubai that the government just came down like on all crypto without any regard as to the scammiest of projects, and Bitcoin, which is like literally now the reserve currency of a country. And anytime you have this like a beautiful region that creates capitalism, like everyone goes there, and the amount of scamminess and the amount of like cheating and not enough people standing up, and calling out scammers, just completely destroyed that region for potential to be, I think Da Vinci understands what I'm talking about.
Yeah, sorry, I'm
Especially in
giggling at
Dubai.
Molly trying to angle out her dad, and it's really, it's just giving me the complete giggles. I feel like a kid in school that's trying not to. Sorry, Tone. I was.
Oh, yeah, you have a feature to blur your background.
Wow.
Yeah,
But then you wouldn't see the palm trees.
Investigate that.
Clearly, Molly chose her location.
What are you laughing at? I'm like, wow.
It's because every time it was so artistically done. It was elegant.
Excellent. Here, I want to do a shout out, right, for everyone.
Yeah, totally.
Right, for this video. Okay, so hey, I'm live here right now on this channel. Just swipe up and join us right now for the Coin Market Cap Christmas celebration.
Woo. So we have two
angles there.
Yeah, no. So now maybe on the fun side of things, because I am monitoring the chat on YouTube and we do have some questions coming through. So guys, keep them coming if you do have any questions for any of our speakers, and we'll get around to them in just a second. But I think non-COVID or Christmas related, just in general, how everyone's going to be celebrating the next few days. And also if we're going to expect any interesting price movements the next few days, because it's one of those things over Christmas, normally we kind of see something exciting. Molly, what's your take?
So I'm not the price expert, but the one thing I do notice is I track when the Bitcoin futures expire. And I think everyone else here probably can speak with more authority than I am. But in my experience, whenever Bitcoin futures expire, Bitcoin tends to go down. And because I'm someone that uses Bitcoin as my only form of currency, I'm a full Bitcoin person since 2017. I plan, my grocery shopping, my credit card bills around these future expiration dates so that I know when to sell. I'm not a trader. I do not do technical analysis. That was very basic. But this is what I'm thinking. There's going to be an expiration now or in the next few days. So I'm personally thinking there's going to be a price downward trend. But again, not a trader. Do not take this as financial advice.
That is remarkable. And I can't believe I didn't know that about you. Since 2017, that is extremely impressive. What has been some of the biggest challenges? Oh, I think we've had a bit of a...
Definitely building my house. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, we
I was
can
going to say definitely building my house. Yeah, it is really hard to get anyone to accept Bitcoin for, building supplies, like for those sorts of goods and services. Where I live, I've gotten a few people on board. My tennis coach, I pay him entirely in Bitcoin. My landlord won't accept Bitcoin yet. I have to transfer it. I got my laptop from Olivia's boyfriend in Bitcoin a few years ago. So I find little ways. I do end up using peer-to-peer services like local Bitcoins and Binance P2P to get some things done. But in every way I can, I try to use my Bitcoin and never think about how much I would have now if I hadn't bought that one thing a few years ago, because that's a dark spiral that you can't go down if you're going to live like I do.
It's true. It's true. Now, we do have one question that's come through, which is, what do you guys think will be the biggest crypto trend in 2022? Maybe Olivia, will start with you and then kind of go around the table and see what everyone is thinking.
Sorry, I gotta unmute. What will be the biggest crypto trend? It's really hard. I'm gonna go with Web3 metaverse. I'm gonna go with that. And I'm willing to dig more into that because I feel like we have maybe some metaverse doubters here on the call. But I think if we step back, it was like 2020 DeFi summer, 2021 NFTs for sure. And NFTs are, nicely kind of, they transition into the metaverse, or like they're part of the metaverse in a way. They're involved. And I just think with the developments that have happened this year with the metaverse in terms of awareness, hello.
We think that Mr. Metaverse is going to be the one. Amazing. So we have Mr. MMCrypto joining us as well. To be honest, we were actually expecting Chris to join through the door, weren't we?
Yes, exactly.
But on the live is equally as good. Chris, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. It depends on how long you are on today. I can still come. I'm not far away, but I really have to hurry up. I'm celebrating Christmas. My family is coming, so I have to buy a few things to prepare, but I'm happy to be here.
No, it's great to have you here. And maybe just to kind of catch up, because we've kind of quizzed around the whole group, and we were covering like favorite news topics of this year or favorite crypto moments. So I know you are kind of busy, so we're going to let you just quickly kind of quiz the question. A favorite crypto moment of 2021 for you, what has it been?
Sorry, can you repeat the question? A crypto moment of 2021, which I can...
Yes, favorite.
Of course, I had a lot of favorite moments. I think the moment Elon Musk was buying, when I think back about it, was the most emotional for me, because I saw it. I was always waiting for it. And the moment he was tweeting, giving some hints, I was already like, oh, I think he bought. And when he finally announced it, I think it was on this very new app. What is it called? Where you can only talk voice. I was completely freaking out, and the price also went from 30,000 to 40,000 in like a day or so. I was extremely happy. I think this was my favorite moment, because I also knew when he buys, a lot of other big people will buy as well. And well, we went to 65.
It's true. Yeah, this year was the year of Twitter Spaces and Clubhouse and everything as well. So we were also starting the conversation then on kind of crypto trends for 2022. Maybe Da Vinci, you want to start with what you're expecting from next year? Maybe it's a price prediction of Bitcoin. I know you guys are super Bitcoin bullish, or just something else that you're looking ahead to.
Well, you did ask what's the next big thing for 2022. And I was thinking, I believe it's the play to earn, because they're going to lock everybody down again in 2022. And they're not going to be able to eat. They're not going to be able to survive. So what's going to have a very big impact on people who are locked in their house is they'll be able to play video games and make money.
Yeah, it's true. And we have a lot of people from Philippines in the group chat as well. Tom, what about you? What kind of things are you expecting? Because Olivia's already said Web3 and Metaverse is kind of the one to watch. What are your thoughts?
So actually, I think Da Vinci is right. If they are doing another lockdown, what I think is going to happen, they always continue printing. Right now we're having a little bit tapering, but eventually they will continue printing. When there's a lockdown, the velocity goes down. So we will have a similar effect like we had in 2021, where they print money, but the prices are not increasing that fast. So whenever there's a lockdown, people don't spend their money that quickly, and obviously the prices are not increasing so fast. But once the next lockdown is going to stop, I think prices are going to increase drastically, not only of assets like, I don't know, real estate, gold, silver, but specifically about Bitcoin. And this whole crisis, even though it's a little bit sad, of course, most of the people are big losers, but everyone, I mean, they are losing from the consequences. But everyone who's involved in Bitcoin and who's educated, which I think the coin market cap people are, every one of them is, can be a big financial winner of that, because we are still very early in the game.
Awesome. We have some V warriors as well in the group chat, Chris, saying shout out to V. So congratulations on your launch there. Exciting times. So Tone, what about you for expectations? Tone, what about you for expectations for next year?
Yeah, no, I think Da Vinci is right. And you guys are right. I mean, this whole Web3 idea, the metaverse, even play to earn. I mean, these are all probably going to be hot because like we've already seen it. They went from the ICOs were really, really hot in 2017, but then Bitcoin hit a bear market. So in a bear market, nothing's really going to come up. When the bear market ended in 2020, was the rise of the rise of DeFi, then the rise of NFTs, and now there's going to be these tokens that are probably the gaming tokens, plus the metaverse is going to really just the concept, right? The virtual reality concept. If the technology is going to advance very, very quickly, and that's the other challenge right now, right? If you're buying your family virtual reality gear in the metaverse, like what do you buy? And like 3 months later, it could be totally outdated because so much cooler shit's going to come out. So it becomes this huge technological ramp up, especially with potential for additional lockdowns. But you don't even need lockdowns. If you make these virtual reality environments, and I still haven't gotten used to calling it metaverse, right? If you make these virtual reality environments really, really cool, then why would anyone go to the office again? Like if you can have these meetings in virtual reality, then the whole concept of going to the office doesn't make sense anymore. Like I used to work in an office, I used to work on Wall Street, and all of that stuff in person could have been done at home, but the virtual reality environments didn't have the technology. It just wasn't cool enough. And now with the whole virus thing going on, or the reaction to the virus, I should say, that's going to become a lot more popular.
What?
Jessica totally missed out by looking at her phone, but yeah, more shadowy. So yeah, those are going to be probably the really big trends. Mm-hmm. And let's see what happens. I still think Bitcoin is going to pop to the upside. A lot of people in the chat were asking about the price of Bitcoin. When's it going to break 100K? I still have my tweet up. I expected Bitcoin to break 100K this year. So maybe it got delayed until the first quarter of 2022. I think it's going to happen. And that's going to probably lift everything. So there could be this pop and all these other tokens because Bitcoin breaks 100K. And when it does, it should go to 125 to 150 somewhat quickly. And then we could potentially start that bear market. And that's when a lot of the stuff, that's when we're going to see which projects have no flows. And it's going to be most of them. So pick wisely.
Pick wisely. What are your thoughts on that? Agree or disagree on the Bitcoin to 150K then bear market?
Well, I'm quite surprised that Bitcoin isn't at 100K right now today. I'm holding out hope that it gets there by Christmas because
we live in Dubai. It's expensive.
I'm going to lose a very big expensive bet. So I guess I'm
losing one as well, Da Vinci. I had 100K by end of year. I'm losing a bet as well.
How expensive was this bet actually?
It was one Bitcoin bet.
One Bitcoin bet?
Yeah, exactly. So it looks like I've pretty much lost that bet since Christmas is only 2 days away. Anyways, so with that said, I'm going to interrupt. So my bet is slightly smaller because it's a dinner, unless you go to dinner with Da Vinci, because it could have been more expensive. Yeah, it was a dinner. Yeah, that's right. I remember you making that bet.
Yeah,
right?
on my bet it's a dinner, but I've gone to dinner with you guys in Dubai. So sometimes a one Bitcoin bet is a cheaper loss than taking you guys out to dinner.
Yes, because we're going to be ordering steak, gold steak and caviar, right, Chris?
I agree, man. Going to dinner with Da Vinci is a quite interesting experience when you're looking at the steaks and the wine. So, Tone, I definitely agree.
You heard caviar and you came right in that group chat like there was no tomorrow. Caviar and crackers for Chris.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, anyway, Da Vinci, by the way, we have to go for dinner soon again.
For sure. Anytime. I'm ready, man. Just give me a shout.
But maybe you will pay? No, I'm joking.
Oh my gosh. After the loss of Bitcoin, that one Bitcoin bet, I'm going to be broke.
You know what, Da Vinci? I'm going to cover it, okay?
Guys, we want photo proof of this dinner as well, just to see how hard you guys ball out in Dubai when it comes to a Christmas dinner. So Chris, what's your thoughts then? Because Tone and Da Vinci was talking about kind of future Bitcoin price prediction for moving forward. What is your expectations?
I want to apologize for the background noises. As I said, I'm on the road. I hope it's fine for everyone. My prediction, actually, I have to say, I also expected more towards the end of the year. However, I'm happy with the development here, and I actually think this time the bull market will, unlike in previous cycles where it just always topped out in like November or December, I think we will actually expand into Q1, and I could imagine Bitcoin seeing a high in February or March even, and I would be very surprised if it's below 200K, but everyone knows I'm a very big bull anyways. I think, Da Vinci, you have even a crazier one, right?
Yes, I did have a crazier one. And I figured, like, what the heck? Why is this possible that we are so down here? Is because I expected 1.2 million because they were printing so much money, and they made it clear, right, that it was like 25% a year. And anybody who doesn't agree with that has been 25% a year, go to your dollar store in the United States and tell me how much stuff is in there. Well, that's right. It's not $1. It's $1.25. Right? And there's more to come. Don't worry. By next year, it's going to be $2.50.
So I have a question now. If Bitcoin was to hit 1.2 million, and this is more directed at Chris because Chris is the king of crypto thumbnails, what expression would you do? Here we go. This is something I've not mastered yet. If Kay, our video head, is watching, that's all we got.
Yeah,
guys, really?
Whenever I go, I always have to hear some jokes about my thumbnails. Just like 2 days ago on Bitboy's channel before, and another one. But I get it. Like, this is pretty scary, right?
It's impactful. Olivia, from an OKX perspective, how are you seeing the kind of the new interest that we've seen in 2021, and how is that correlating with expectations maybe moving forward for the markets?
Yeah, I think that we've just seen really, really explosive growth in terms of trading volumes, and specifically, not just Bitcoin, right? Like a lot of meme coins. If we look at the trends in this past year, we haven't really touched on those yet, but a lot of the dog-themed meme coins were also a big part of this year. And so as an exchange, we, watch those volumes just really skyrocket. Also metaverse tokens as well. So yeah, I think I don't want to make a price prediction. I'm not going to make a price prediction for Bitcoin or for any other asset. I do think like it's an interesting moment right now where Bitcoin is taking a kind of a backseat in terms of what's front and center in terms of price movements. And it's not a bad thing, I think. The next year, it's really going to depend on the macro situation, I think. As Da Vinci just mentioned, the inflation situation, I think that's going to be what people are watching to try to understand what's going to happen with Bitcoin's price. But if we want to talk about more exciting price movements, then it's probably going to be in those other smaller cap tokens.
Yeah, and I think what's so interesting having you on the call with the traders as well is these guys do have the predictions and their kind of expectations. And obviously working for OKX, you have an on look into what users are signing up and also new areas of interest. I know, Molly, you have something similar when it comes to most viewed articles on Alexandria on CoinMarketCap, for example. You're able to see what kind of trends people are really looking into. What kind of articles this year did you find got the most eyeballs, and was there any that surprised you?
I know your answer.
Shiba Inu. It's just Shiba Inu. Yeah, that's what got all the eyeballs. Obviously, articles that were not about Shiba Inu sometimes got really long time on page, 7 minutes, 8 minutes. You could tell people were really just soaking up the knowledge, how to mint an NFT, 5 tips to trading in DeFi. But, if we publish something about Shiba Inu, it could just be the word Shiba Inu reprinted 100 times on the page. We're going to get 100,000 page views on that within a few days. It's fascinating. There's a lot of dog coins out there. Actually, what I can do is I can read some stats about the number of page views that all of our dog coins on CoinMarketCap saw this year. That might be interesting.
Yeah, let's do it because I can tell Tone's going to get more and more infuriated as he sees the numbers
All
creep
right,
up.
let's see.
So true.
And I would like to have
Army.
a real-time reaction.
All right, I'm gonna pull this up. It's pretty good. So the let me see. Our dog coin category is called Dog on Doggerel. So we have a sense of humor about how ridiculous it is on CMC. So Shiba Inu this year had 190 million views, which you think would be a lot, but then you look at something like Doge Cola, and that has 50 million, which I personally have not heard of. Baby Dogecoin coming in at 34 million for the year. Dogelon Mars, 17 million. Baby Shiba Inu at 7 million. There's a lot more. I'm just throwing out some. See, he heard his name.
We didn't even write it.
He's talking
Didn't even
about
do it on
dog
purpose,
coins?
yeah.
Coming over.
And yeah, and if you look at something like our Bitcoin page, that had 147 million. So you compare 147 million to Shiba Inu 190 million. Those are some crazy numbers.
That is remarkable. And I don't know about you guys as well, but I found that in the years that I've been known to work in crypto, I have had very limited amount of people reach out to me and ask me about Bitcoin or Ethereum, or even some of the top 10 alts. But this year I had a remarkable amount of people ask me about Doge or Shiba and how to get involved. And the interest that it caught on to, it was really interesting actually to see the psychological attraction that it had to new investors.
Yeah, it does have like serious brand
Interesting
power.
is one word.
Yeah, it's a
one
bit
adjective.
Right. It's a bit distressing, I would say, honestly. But yeah, I can read some stats too to kind of show the increased interest that we've seen on OKX. And yeah, and maybe it's not only about Doge, that's good. To bring us back a little bit. So we just like this past year, last month we released a report that showed we had over 300% growth in trading volume. So that just shows increased interest. Specifically, we saw spot products, spot trading, it was up 365%, and futures were up 209%. So the trading volumes are really massive. In October, the report was released in November. So in October, just that month, Bitcoin, so among the top 10 assets with the highest trading volumes, Bitcoin was still there. Bitcoin, Doge, SHIB, OKB, which is our platform token, ETH, and Solana. So I feel like that probably is reflected across many exchanges, those trends. Increased interest from retail, increased interest from institutions, and then those assets, those top assets really reflect the year we've had. I feel like we have the meme dog coins, we have Solana and ETH, Bitcoin's still there. And it's a little bit distressing that like friends outside of crypto know Doge more than they know about Bitcoin, for example, or I would say more than they know about Ethereum, right? But yeah, this is like our role now. When the buzzwords come in, we have to sort of play the role of educating and clarifying.
Being the voice of the people is true. I kind of tell that you have a conference that's solely dedicated to Bitcoin as well. So you are like, to me, like the Bitcoin guy.
Yeah, I got a few of them actually. The next one coming up is in Las Vegas. It's called Unconfiscatable. It's just a general Bitcoin conference. And then we did one in Dubai called Understanding Bitcoin, which is more about the technology side of Bitcoin. So Understanding Bitcoin doesn't have a legal panel. It doesn't have a financial panel. It just has panels and educational presentations on how to best use Bitcoin. Teach people how to set up wallets, how to use Lightning, how to set up a node, teach them about mining, things like that. So that's Understanding Bitcoin. The Unconfiscatable is just a general conference. We cover everything. We're gonna have the Scammy Awards. We'll see. I gotta decide on what the categories are. Maybe one of those dog coins will win.
Scammy? Sorry, did you say Scam Awards?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you did.
Yeah. So we did it a few years ago. There was a video. We're gonna put it up on the website as well. We're just updating the website a little bit so you can see the highlights from the 2020 Scammy Awards for the 2019 scams of the year. So now we're gonna do the 2022 version for 2020 and 2021 because we skipped the year with the conference. So that's gonna be fun. We have a theater all ready to go. I got to decide on a co-host, to host the awards. We also have a poker tournament as part of the conference. But with America putting in the vaccine mandate to enter the country, it's a problem. A lot of people can't make it, unfortunately, because they're not vaccinated. And I mean, I don't blame them. It's up to everyone to decide whether they should or shouldn't. But it sucks when you're an event organizer and half people were willing to come can't come.
So who was the last winner of the Scammy Awards?
Well, we had a few. There were 10 categories. It was Best New Scam, Scam of the Year. We gave away the Lifetime Scammer Achievement Award. Richard Hart won something. Craig Wright might have won a couple. I got a review. I got to remember. We had I put them all on Twitter for voting. We had the most centralized, decentralized blockchain. Ripple won that one. And I think Ripple's going to win that one every year. So we're going to change the award to the Ripple Award for the most decentralized, centralized blockchain. And we also had the Darth Vader Award for former Bitcoin maximalist turned shitcoiner. And Roger Ver won that one. It's interesting. We also had like the most evil Bitcoin company, and then it's like Coinbase and Bitmain and like these kinds of companies. They're Bitcoin companies that just hate Bitcoin. It's these kinds of awards. So it's a really cool show.
I'm so glad you've disclosed all of these on a crypto agnostic platform such as CoinMarketCap.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
we rank, but we don't judge.
XRP should be kicked out of CoinMarketCap. It's not a cryptocurrency. Boom.
I'll bring that up with our listings team.
I've gone to the YouTube comments to see what we've got coming through. So from the comments, let me have a quick stroll through and have a little look.
I have a question maybe I wanted to ask to all of you.
I was going to say, also, Da Vinci was there at the financial summit in Dubai. That was awesome.
Yes, I know.
This was my question.
It's not by as well, Jeff.
It was,
that was a fun event. That was my personal highlight of the year, how successful that event was.
So before the pandemic destroyed everything, we used to all meet up in person a lot, all over. I've been at the conferences with Olivia in Las Vegas and Singapore. You guys have probably been to even more places than we have. And I'm wondering if you guys have any highlights of like really crazy crypto things that happened at conferences when you used to be able to see each other in person.
Well, I don't know if we can legally talk about this, but we did have a contest here in Dubai, where it was a trading contest to see who could out trade each other, and we had like 6 hours. Now I showed up late, right?
It's the nerdiest thing.
It's like a hackathon. It's like a hackathon, but for traders.
Yes, exactly, and I loved it, right? But I showed up late because at the time I didn't know it at the time, but I had COVID, and I was like really, really ill, so I showed up like the last 2 hours of it, trying to trade. So I was trying to do a catch-up trade. So, and when you're doing that, you over trade, and then you're not going to do so well. So I was down 10%, but I wasn't so bad because so was everybody else except one person who had only 2 trades.
I was in Davos in 2019. It's where I first interviewed you, actually. And at one of the after parties, the CEO of Goldman Sachs was famously had I don't know if he ended up DJing at this very small club, and this was like an iconic moment that everyone was like, you know, the DJ last night. I was like, yeah, that party was so cool last night. Oh, that was the CEO of Goldman Sachs. He got behind the DJ booth and started DJing. That for me will always be a really iconic one, actually, and it made headlines on like CNBC and stuff. It was the talk of the town the next day. That was pretty iconic for me. What about you guys?
I'm trying to remember, Molly, like, did anything crazy happen in Vegas, or did we have a boring
I was thinking about in Singapore when we were at that, I think it was the Arthur Hayes after party.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to tell that story, or do you want me to?
You should probably tell it so you know what to censor.
I'll tell it so I know what to censor.
It's already going to be excellent, I can tell.
Olivia and I were at the after party, and this was, again, before any acquisition, before CoinMarketCap was CoinMarketCap, and CZ was there, and he seemed pretty happy about something. I think we probably all understand why. Yeah, what can I censor? What can I say here on this live stream? Anyway, it was one of the first times I got to really meet him, to hang out with him, and he was just a really good dancer, I guess, you know, watching him really kind of make those dance floor moves in his area. I don't know, Olivia, I don't know what else I can add.
Yeah, not to like dox people too much, but just I think being in, so this was in Singapore, being in this, I'm sorry, so sorry, let me turn that off. In a club, dancing with like some of the most famous, wealthiest people in crypto was incredibly surreal and fun. And just like being in a club with those people was just like such a surreal moment. And like, yeah, Molly and I, it was a fateful moment for us. This was like before you joined CoinMarketCap, right?
And about a month before, yeah.
Yeah, and CoinMarketCap wasn't at all associated with finance. But
and we were still an independent body.
Right.
Underlining that.
Right. But yeah, it's just cool to see these people, these faces of crypto. You know, crypto, I think it's still such a specific and fairly small industry. And it's like an industry that really has its poster boys and people, but like almost especially boys. And like it, you know, we have these faces that kind of represent the industry and that in many senses push it forward. Some of them are the YouTube personalities here with us today. Some of them are like owners like CZ, Arthur Hayes, whatever. And like these people are almost bigger than their brands. And it's a very cool phenomenon, and like it works for a lot of, it does a lot of good, I think, in terms of like building trust, because it's a real person versus a company, for the industry and for the users of their companies. But obviously it has its problems, right? Because it's like a lot of ego, it's a lot of focus and pressure on a particular personality, and then those personalities, whether you like it or not, represent the industry in public. You know, they're the ones on the covers of magazines, etc. They're the ones being interviewed, but there's so much obviously going on behind the scenes that aren't represented by these big figures. But that's just to say, to make it on a lighter note, it being, you know, at these in-person events, what's really fun is you just get to like hang out, whether that's in a club dancing or just like outside doing something or whatever. You just get to casually hang out with some of the, you know, biggest and like brightest people in the space. And that's still the case, which is cool. It's small enough that still happens.
Yeah. So next year, 2022, hopefully we'll get to do these in person. If not, guys in the comments that are watching, and it would be great to do these more virtually as well, and we can link up. But I think it's such a nice point to end on, that the people do really make the space special. And guys, thank you all so much for taking time out of your day. Thank you for letting me gate crash your Santa hat. Taking time out of your day just before Christmas to join us on this Christmas live stream. And thank you so much to everyone that has been watching from home as well. Molly, Olivia, Tone, Mr. Da Vinci, guys, thank you. I think it's going to be a great Christmas, and really excited for next year and what it brings for the industry and the space, and hopefully we'll get to meet up in a physical event sometime really soon.
I certainly hope so. You guys can come here.
I'm sure.
Thanks
Love
for
Forward
having
to
me on, guys.
inviting actually. And a final note as well, just before I forget, guys, the competition is still running till the 25th of December, so there is still time to apply. I'm going to drop the link in the description box as well. coinmarketcap.com/Christmas. Some great prizes up for grabs, so good luck, and it's a nice little Christmas treat for everyone. Guys, thank you once again. It was awesome to catch up, and I'd love to do this again soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Jess. Really appreciate it. It's
Thank you.
fun.
Thank you all.
Happy holidays, guys.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.